everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashmita and I hope you all are doing well. And yes, I finally watched the magnum opus RRR directed by SS Rajamouli last night, and was the wait worth it? Let's find out in the detailed analysis. Now, before I touch upon various aspects of the film, was this movie an enjoyable watch? Absolutely, and this is a movie that has to be watched in the theaters to get that full cinematic experience. Now, if you are already a fan of SS Rajamouli's Bahubali franchisee, then this is a movie that is definitely going to be enjoyable for you. Starting with the storyline, it is pretty simple and straightforward what was suggested in the trailer, basically about this little girl child who gets taken away by the British Empire people, and Junior NTR's character Bhim tries to rescue her, and we have RamCharan's character Ram, who is working for the British police. So both Ram and Bhim don't know each other's true identity, and yet you see this amazing friendship that grows between them. Now, of course, both Ram and Bhim have their own agendas to fulfill, but how their individual goals culminate together to form a bigger goal that serves a much bigger purpose is the storyline. So yes, on paper, it's actually pretty simple and straightforward, but what mattered here is the execution. So for the viewers who went in with the expectation that we are going to get a very out-of-the-box kind of storyline, well, then you are bound to be a tad bit disappointed. For me, honestly, as a viewer, I went in with the expectation to get my eyes treated with a visual spectacle, and that's what I got. More than the storyline, it is the storytelling and the character development that takes the front seat here. I really like the narrative style, especially at the moment the movie starts. You are shown the three pillars of the film: the story, the fire, and the water. And as I said before, it is the storytelling which takes the front seat and the character developments. So RamCharan and Junior NTR's introductory scenes are absolutely epic. You can clearly make the distinction that yes, RamCharan's character Ram is the fire, and why it is fire, and how Junior NTR's character, Bhim, is the water. It is cinematically beautiful. The difference in the color grading in both of their introductory scenes, it was of epic proportions, guys. That's the word which is coming in my mind. If you honestly ask me, for me, the biggest strength of this film was the chemistry and the camaraderie between Ram and Bhim. For me, it was really not the visual spectacle or the songs or the intense BGM. Yes, those things of course add a lot to this film, and rightly so. But at its heart, at its core, for me, it was the friendship and the bromance between these two characters. Throughout the narrative of the film, you will clearly see this distinction being made of fire element and the water element, and it is that cinematic representation and storytelling through these visuals that make the viewing experience so amazing. And SS Rajamouli is someone who has proven himself that he can make absolute magnum opus, because what is in his mind, he actually knows how to represent it cinematically. Now, apart from RamCharan and Junior NTR's character, I also want to highlight the character of Scott Buxton, which was played by Ray Stevenson. I honestly was a little skeptical and scared that how the characterization of the British Empire is going to be shown, because my skepticism was that, okay, it shouldn't be very caricaturish, which it was in bits and pieces, like the actor who played, Ray Stevenson's wife. I think the character name was Catherine Buxton. She was very caricaturish as per me, but Ray Stevenson's was really good. I particularly liked his screen presence, his dialogue delivery, and he really had an intimidating aura as Scott. The actor Olivia Morris, who plays the role of Jenny, she also had a very, very charming presence on screen. Now, Alia Bhatt and Ajay Devgan's cameo, honestly, I was still okay with Ajay Devgan's cameo. He did well, and he had some kind of weight in his role. But I personally feel that Alia Bhatt was absolutely wasted in the movie. I mean, her role was just about okay. She did fine. It's not like it was something out of the ordinary, nothing compared to what she performed in Gangubai, obviously. But I just felt casting her, I mean, even if she was not there in the film, it wouldn't have made a difference. Like, of course, Sita as a character is important for Ram. We know that. But Alia Bhatt's role, particularly as Sita, it was just, I mean, I wasn't very much fazed or moved by it. Now, a really positive point in terms of storytelling are certain set pieces which were so strategically placed that would give you goosebumps. The moment interval happens, just that interval sequence itself, is something to marvel at. It is a huge action set piece and there are a lot of moments there, but my favorite would be the hand-to-hand combat between Bhim and Ram. It was so well choreographed and coordinated. You would not even think that, okay, this is like a fake hand-to-hand combat. It looked absolutely authentic. Are there unrealistic fight sequences in the film? Absolutely, absolutely. And this is something I was expecting. I mean, I went in with the mindset of Bahubali. So compared to Bahubali, this is much more toned down. The ending battle in the forest is also epically done, epically done. And you've seen the visuals in the trailer also for that. And when I was watching, I was completely engrossed in that moment. But when I came back home, this thought came in my mind and I just want to share it with you guys, is that when he's shooting all these arrows one by one, I noticed by the end of it, his arrows never got over. Like how many arrows he shot in that fight sequence, but he never ran out of it, surprisingly. So yeah, so those are the details I thought about after coming back home. So yes, you will find those unrealistic moments definitely in the film. Do let me know if it was a deal breaker for you or not. Now coming to the visual effects, I have mixed feelings on it because I know there are a lot of people who are involved in the visual effects here. And overall, I'm satisfied with the CGI, especially when it involved the animals and all. It looked quite nice. But there are certain moments where the blasts are happening, and specifically there is this one scene, just that interval fight sequence, where Junior NTR's character is, climbing that main building and he's basically hopping up and down and trying to find his way. That particular scene, I think whoever has watched it will understand. It is a long, it's an aerial shot which shows Junior NTR's character running through that building, through the roof of that building. It honestly looked like a video game. That's the only CGI which stands as a sore thumb for me. It was just very obvious to my eyes and I wanted to point it out. I don't know if you guys noticed it or not, but to me, it completely looked like a video game character hopping around and, running to fulfill his mission. Other than that, the rest of the CGI was quite satisfactory and well done. Next, a huge shout out to the people who were involved in the set design work, because without these sets, the world building would be absolutely incomplete. Also, along with the set design, I was very, very happy with the costume design. Because for a period drama, if your outfits are not properly done, it just completely fails the purpose because it will not look authentic. So the costume designer anyway has a huge responsibility, specifically when it comes to a period drama. And here it was done perfectly. Now coming to the BGM and the songs, of course, this is a huge part of the movie. But when Nacho Nacho came in, I mean, that song, that's my favorite song. Actually, Janani used to be my favorite song from this album, but eventually Nacho Nacho took over. And when I watched it on screen last night, just the dancing of Junior NTR and RamCharan, that is enough to hype me up. The song is already so good, but just the choreography of that entire song, it's a chef's kiss. It makes a mountain of a difference when you watch that same video on the big screen rather than on your laptop. The song Dosti is also very well shot and it has a lot of beautiful moments which shows the friendship between the two main leads. Now, as I said before, both the main leads have their own specific missions and agendas in the film, which is against the backdrop of the British Empire. Though what I liked was that the main focus always was their friendship, which again I want to point out was for me the biggest plus point of this movie. Now coming to the performances, Junior NTR and RamCharan, both of them, I cannot even, say that, okay, which one was better and this person shined, that person shined more. No, both of them are at par with each other. And SS Rajamouli ensured that both the characters get their individual moments to shine. You will never feel in the course of the film that, okay, one person is getting more screen time and the other is not. No, both characters have been given equal importance and their acting is just the cherry on top. Apart from them, I also liked Ray Stevenson's performance. Rest of the supporting cast also did well, but I cannot say that anyone specifically shined for me. It is RamCharan and Junior NTR who carry this movie on their shoulders, for me at least. Then coming, of course, to the director, SS Rajamouli. I don't know how his mind works because not everyone can put exactly what you're thinking on screen. To even think in such a larger than life format kind of film, I feel he is one of those few directors who can actually imagine it and also pull it off. When I think of commercial massive flicks which will give me action, masala, hero ki entry, then BGM, songs, everything, this is a perfect fit. Yes, the movie will give you those moments where your brain will be thinking, isn't this a bit too much? But it probably won't take away that enjoyment factor from your heart. Now, for me, I feel, and this is completely my own personal opinion, yours can be totally different, but when it comes to repeat viewings, I think for me, the watchability or the repeat viewing factor is more in Bahubali than in RRR. Even though I enjoyed RRR a lot, but I think the pull that Bahubali has over me, it's something different. I'm not really comparing, but I think I'm just talking in terms of scale and, you know, epicness. And yes, those were my thoughts on SS Rajamouli's film RRR. If you have watched this movie, let me know. How did you feel about it? Liked it, average, did not like it, or loved it, or absolutely hated it? I mean, that is how as wide as the opinions would go. So yeah, let me know in the comments below. And yes, with that, I will end the video here. I hope you have watched this entire video and have enjoyed this review. I'll see you soon on my next one. Bye!